The Arab enslavement of Africans. When the word slavery is mentioned, most minds travel instantly to the Atlantic to ships packed with chained Africans to the plantations of the Caribbean and the Americas. Yet beyond that ocean lies another story, one older, longer, and every bit as devastating. For more than 12 centuries, African men, women, and children were captured, sold, and transported northward and eastward across the Sahara Desert, the Red Sea, and the Indian Ocean. This vast system of human trafficking, commonly called the Arab slave trade or the Trans-Saharan and Indian Ocean slave trade, stretched from the 7th century well into the 20th. It reshaped entire regions, depopulated parts of Africa, and left scars that remain visible in culture and consciousness. Yet it is rarely spoken of today, buried beneath political sensitivity and historical amnesia. Slavery existed in Arabia long before Islam. Tribes traded captives taken in raids, and markets in Mecca and Medina sold slaves from Africa, Persia, and Central Asia. When Islam emerged in the 7th century, it did not abolish slavery, but sought to regulate it within religious law. As the Arab Islamic empires expanded across North Africa into Spain, through the Middle East and Persia, they absorbed and systematized older slave networks. African captives became a vital part of the caliphate's economies. From Sudan, Chad, Niger, and Mali, caravans carried enslaved people north through the Fezzan and Sahara to Tripoli, Tunis, and Cairo. To the east, merchants along the Swahili coast from modern-day Tanzania and Mozambique to Somalia sold Africans to Arabia, Persia, and India via the Indian Ocean. By the 8th century, slavery was woven into the commercial fabric of the Islamic world. Historians estimate that between 10 and 18 million Africans were enslaved and transported through Arab-controlled routes between the 7th and 19th centuries. Because records were rarely kept and countless died in transit, the true toll may be far higher. From the western and central Sahel to North African cities such as Tunis, Fez, Tripoli, and Cairo. From Sudan and Ethiopia into Arabia and the Levant. From Zanzibar, Kilwa, and Mombasa to Oman, Yemen, Persia, and India. Unlike the triangular Atlantic trade, the Arab trade formed a continuous flow of human trafficking that lasted for more than a millennium, making it the longest-running slave system in human history. Death in the desert and the sea. The trek across the Sahara Desert was notorious. Captives, bound by ropes or wooden yokes, were forced to walk for months under scorching sun, carrying salt or ivory while half-starved. Many died from thirst or exhaustion. Others were killed when they could no longer walk. Those taken by sea faced different horrors. Traditional wooden dhows transported captives from East Africa across the Indian Ocean. The cramped conditions mirrored the brutality of the Atlantic ships, with disease, suffocation, and sexual violence claiming thousands of lives before arrival in Arabia or Persia. Scholars estimate that only 1 in 3 captives survived the full journey to the slave markets of the Middle East. Who were enslaved